what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Comedy Pop-Up Podcast. I'm your boy, Sean Grant. I'm filling in for Ron G. And here today with me, well, first, let me introduce Alex. He's filling in for Paul. What's up, Alex? Oh, he's got no mic. Never mind. And as usual, we'll bring two amazing comics from around the city on to talk to you guys. And one of them is the winner of the best stand-up at the Los Angeles Comedy Festival. He's also Coca Comedian of the Year, and he's the winner of the Sirius XM Radio Canada's Next Top Comic. Big round of applause for Mr. Matt O'Brien. Yeah,
it's only me, Clyde.
Just me banging on the table. I'm banging on the table. And also next to him is she'll be on Viceland's Flophouse. She's also going to be she did a set for Hulu's Coming to the Stage, and she's also co-host of the hit podcast Lady to Lady. Big round of applause for Miss Barbara Gray. Yeah,
that's a much bigger applause.
They cut me out of Flophouse, so don't fuck that show. Don't watch it.
Yeah, well, fuck Flophouse and fuck that intro.
No, I'm just kidding.
Guys?
Watch it. I have it on my have it on my bio just because I don't have other credits. So.
Well, because you were part of it.
Well, I said filmed a set for.
That counts. Sure.
Okay. What is Flophouse? It's a stand-up showcase show?
Yeah, it's like a house party show where they would go to like different house parties and do a show in the back, basically.
Adam Devine type thing?
Yeah. Lance, a very low budget version of Adam Devine's show.
Was it San Francisco? Is that where it was?
It was everywhere. They
everywhere.
did shows all over the place. Lance Bangs directed it. He's directed a bunch of comedy shit.
That was Vice, yeah? That was Vice's show?
On Viceland,
I remember they did Denver, too, and they, showcased a lot of really cool local talent and stuff.
Yeah?
And, I mean,
it was cool.
Yeah,
it was a cool show. I mean, they cut me out, so don't watch it.
Right.
It's a great show. No, it's really cool. Yeah, they featured a lot of good comics.
Yeah, hell yeah. You both did San Francisco Sketch Fest at one point. I know you've done it a few times, Barbara.
Yeah.
And
you
did it. Oh, you've done it a few times? What's that whole thing? Like, how do you guys submit to that? Like, what what is it like?
They just take. I don't remember the timeline, but I think they take submissions kind of near the end of the year usually.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And it's a
they
weird.
have improv teams.
Yeah, they've got
usually what I say.
everything.
Oh, they have stand. Okay,
It's because it's called Sketch Fest. A lot of comics are turned off by. They're like, "Oh, it's just sketch." It's like, no, it's mostly stand up.
Is it mostly stand up?
Mostly like.
Oh shoot.
Because that's way easier to put on, I think, than.
As far as budget
stand-up comedy festival. That sounds lame.
Yeah.
But Sketchfest is kind of weird because it lasts a month, basically. It's over 4 weekends.
Gotcha.
So you kind of can go up and miss a lot of people because they're at a different weekend or something like that. It's very spread out. So I would say if anyone is trying to get on it, if you do get in, try to do the first of the last weekend because that's when most of the shit's.
There's a middle.
If you want to party the most, which is my main focus, then get.
They have some crazy parties too. There was did you go this year?
No, it's been a while.
There was this year. They had this speakeasy. Like you had to. There was a password to get in, and everyone was dressed like old timey prohibition, and there was what do you call those?
Flappers.
Flappers.
Yeah.
Hey, you can get that right here in Burbank, California.
You can just go to Burbank and get flappers. Those poor servers. Those poor servers. They got to dress up in costume to work there.
Yeah, man.
God.
That's kind of nice, I think, to have a costume to wear to work because it really makes you be like, fuck that. Like, this is not my life. Yeah.
Yeah, you feel it more.
You get to feel like that's separate from the rest of your life more.
Right.
It's just I've always sympathized with servers at comedy clubs because I'm like, you got to bring drinks out while someone's yelling from a stage, and then I've done this as a comic where you're like, oh, give it up for your server in the way, like you know what I mean? It's like this poor person.
Yeah, and they got to whisper the whole thing.
A lot don't whisper though.
Right. Yeah.
Majority of servers at comedy clubs, what can I get ya? Right in the middle of. Because they don't fucking care.
That's not a thing in Canada? Because I know when I went to England, that was not a thing.
Like they don't have a check drop.
Yeah, they don't. Right? It's all intermission, like for you to go get drinks and stuff. At least in England, is Canada like that?
Canada's exactly the same as the States. It's servers from here to Kalamazoo, the whole show. But no, I haven't performed in England yet, but I heard about that.
Yeah. Because it's like a theater culture, so it's very nobody's doing nobody even gets up to go to the bathroom.
They respect, I think, performance a lot more there, the art of the performance.
Right, we're more about making money and selling.
Yeah, America, baby.
Yeah,
cramming as much as you can in one. Because isn't the UK shows like 3 20-minute sets or something like that? It's
or like 3 on the first half,
Yeah,
and
they
then
do the
they close with
intermission.
2.
I love that.
At the end or something like that. after the
45
intermission.
minutes is too long.
Yeah, yeah.
That's too much.
That's too, yeah, for one, yeah.
Especially
dude.
nowadays where everyone's attention, even my attention span as a comic, I'm like,
Yeah.
45, like I could be the best comic. And I'm be like, you got 20
That's a
minutes
bit
of my
much.
attention.
Yeah.
That's why
yeah.
Netflix coming out with 15s is, I think, a really good idea.
Oh, really? Yeah. I thought
like
that. So I thought they were doing that to like prepare them for the hour. But is that just the new standard? Probably
know.
like just
I
do a 15.
I think it's like they'll still do regular specials, but I do think 15 is really smart because it's like it is a lot to see somebody do full 45 to an hour. It's just like,
yeah.
kind of exhausting for everyone.
Especially those road dogs that you tour with, and they're like, "Watch me do an hour in 10." And you're like, "I'm not gonna watch you do that. I don't want to
think
see anyone do an hour in 10."
For me, I'm like a very like high energy person, and it's hard to maintain.
Sustain it, yeah.
I can do a great like 10-minute set and be like all over the place, but an hour, it's like, where the fuck do you put in these bursts of like insanity?
Crazy.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Well, if you see what they're doing, like Netflix is doing it even where if you look at their 30-minute specials, it's people they've given hours to before, Kyle Kinane,
Right.
Brent Moore, and their hour,
Yeah.
And I think there's an overall push to condense, which I think is cool because
Yeah.
people can't, like I've worked in a lot of clubs, people can't stay off their cell phones for more than 5 minutes. Anymore,
Right.
so.
Right.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, they got this thing on Netflix where they're dropping. Did I read this correctly? Like 47.
Oh, it's just for laughs.
Is that what it is? Like they're dropping 47 specials all at once or
Oh,
something
yeah.
like that.
Holy
Is that
shit.
is that a good thing? I saw some.
I don't think that's a
comedians-
good thing because
Yeah.
you're gonna get they're all gonna get like lumped in together.
Right.
Yeah.
It's oversaturated.
It's like
right?
like when the fappening or whatever, when you're like, oh, that was just one of the people.
Yeah.
You're just one of the people who got your shit leaked on Netflix.
Yeah. No one paid nothing special then.
Is that-
I know.
Yeah.
It was like I think Lori Kilmartin posted that. She's like that. The new credit is being like this person doesn't have a Netflix, but like that's a more exciting thing than having. Because I was thinking about that in the drive here. Actually, I'm like just hearing how many people will have Netflix credits.
Wow. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people are going to kind of shrug it off now.
Right. Is that what happened to, was it Comedy Central Presents? Because I remember that was a star maker for
Yeah.
a while. I think Dane Cook and like other people blew up off of that. And then they just made like a ton of them.
You know what the big thing is now is getting on Dry Bar. Apparently, like
what's that?
So Dry Bar is like a Facebook, I don't know, site that it's all clean
shit.
comedy, and people are doing specials on there and getting millions and millions of views.
What?
So I think that's like obviously Facebook is probably the next destination for shit, but especially that it seems to be.
Dry Bar. I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, like people are
Yeah.
definitely seeing more of that than the Comedy Central Presents and stuff.
Wow. Yeah, because it's finding a direct audience and
Yeah, and it's clean, so anybody can share it, and they film in
whatever.
Utah, of course. So
damn, dude, that's cool. So like, okay, so you started where bar? I know Matt started in Canada.
Yeah.
You started.
I
out
started
here?
in LA. Yeah.
Oh, you started in LA? Jeez, is that like people say how hard that is as far as like developing?
Yeah,
like,
I
getting
mean,
stage time?
it's weird. It's like anything else. Like if somebody tells you that like your life was hard, you don't know. You just did it. So I just,
Right,
it was
right.
just the reality that I knew because I grew up in Salt Lake City and there just wasn't a scene there. There wasn't really an
Right.
opportunity to start there. So I didn't really know. So I moved out here and I wasn't sure I wanted to do stand up. And then when I started, it was like, oh, this is the thing.
Got you.
And I luckily started at a really good time. There were really good people who were like very motivated, all starting with me.
Yeah.
And so it's like, Jake Weissman started with me. Now he's a Comedy
Oh,
Central
yeah.
show. So
Yeah.
people who were just like really down to like work hard and make our kind of own little community. So
That's
it worked
so
out.
Dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you started in a big city in Canada?
I started in Toronto.
Oh, well, then you
Yeah.
go.
So that was kind of the same thing. People are like, oh, I can't imagine starting in Toronto. I remember when I met you here and you said you started in LA. I was like, I can't imagine starting here. And you said the same thing. You're like, that's all I know.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's where else are you going to do it? You know?
Right,
Like,
right,
and
right.
then and in Canada, Toronto is the place. It's like Toronto or Vancouver.
Right.
Because like Toronto is like LA and New York in one.
Right.
So it's like there's all of the industry there. That's where you just do
yeah.
it. So
I think, I mean, it's interesting to think about how it's shaped my comedy because stage time is so limited here and like the mics are so short and all that stuff.
Right.
So I'm definitely used to like short, I'm very like,
yeah.
get it
Boom,
all
boom,
in very
boom.
quickly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I'm interested if I, had like a sliding doors moment to like start somewhere else where I got way more stage time
Yeah.
or longer stage time, I should say.
Yeah.
It would be
Yeah.
interesting to see, but it's just kind of like how it is.
Which is
Right.
opposite of my experience because I had so much stage time in Toronto where
Right.
I was so loosey goosey out there. Can get I'm doing 8 to 15 shows a week
Right.
and on the road every single weekend, and I'm just like doing whatever I want. And then getting here, you have to really be tight.
Boom, boom, boom.
And
Yeah.
Tighten it up.
Even I've been here a year and a half, and I'm like, holy shit, I really got to tighten it up
Yeah.
and get to the goddamn point and not waste any time.
That's why I'm grateful for starting here because I didn't have to do that adjustment
Yeah.
of moving. You know?
Right.
Yeah, it's good.
Where'd you start, Sean?
I started in Miami.
Oh,
so
cool.
yeah, it was actually kind of the same, like a lot of stage time
Yeah.
and like some road opportunities. But then coming here, you got to clean it up, cut the fat.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because it's all about the showcase.
And you got to be more aggressive than ever because there's just
Yeah.
so many comics here.
Absolutely.
It's fucking crazy. There's so many
Yeah.
moving here who are good from other cities. Some people started. It's just like
Oh,
overwhelming.
dude, yeah. Every day there's a new dude, and you're like, holy shit, who
Yeah.
the fuck is that? And it's inspiring, but then it's like also like, holy shit.
You
like,
gotta not think about it.
Yeah,
Right.
you can't. You can't. It's too. It's too much.
Because I already moved here being like, oh, there's no space for me. There's no
Oh,
room
really?
for another me here. And then you got to
Right.
try to convince yourself and others that you're like, I do belong here.
Yeah.
I
How long
can
you been here?
contribute.
How long you been here, Matt?
I moved here January of to 2016, 2017.
Oh, okay.
I've only it's like a year and a half.
Oh,
Like, really.
sick, dude. So, like, I know in England, like, there's a bunch of guys who are just famous over there. Who
Yeah.
like you'll never hear. I don't know, Michael McIntyre, all
Yeah.
these guys that make tons of money, but they'll never leave. With Canadians, do they all like eventually have to emigrate to the U.S. at some point? Like, you know,
You
in
don't
order
have
be-
to, but there's
blow
only
up?
so much you can do up there. That's the thing.
Right.
It's like, and we like worship these American comics, the industry up there. Like all these American comics come up to Canada and take so much of our club time, or like you could be the biggest comic in
Yeah,
Canada.
suck it.
I know. It's like even getting into like just for laughs. It's like that's the biggest thing you can do as a Canadian comic. But then these American comics come and they just get so many better things at this festival for being
Yeah.
American comics, and it's like, oh, we've been doing it at the same time and all this stuff. But
Shit, yeah.
this is there's a handful of Canadian comics that are like making like they have their own TV show up there.
right
Or stuff like that. A lot of the French comics up there are millionaires. It's
the ones who
insane.
come from France. Or
No, just like Quebec,
French Canadian.
French
Oh.
Canadian.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
insane how much money. There's comics that I know that have gone French and have never gone back. What's that old saying?
That's right.
Once you go
I think
French,
that's
do
it.
comedy in France soon. I'm excited. I met a French.
you?
I met a French comic like randomly, and I'm gonna be there in a few months.
was
so.
it Gad Elmaleh?
Yeah.
It was not. It
Oh,
was,
wasn't him? Oh.
I don't even know how to say his name actually.
So better figure that out soon.
Yeah. It's interesting here, like in a similar issue with starting stand up in LA is that I've been in front of the industry for so long that they couldn't give two fucks about me because they've seen me so much.
Wow.
So I don't think they care. They're like, you're not shiny or new. We've seen you try 10 million showcases and never booked and never give a fuck.
Right.
So it's obviously good that I've gotten those opportunities, but I think also they just like are over it and they've been over it
Right.
for a long time.
Were you trying to avoid that starting off? Or were you like, holy shit, let me.
Well, of course, when you're new and you get on a showcase, you're like, yeah, I didn't do
Yeah.
anything until I felt like ready for it. I
Yes.
definitely didn't.
Yeah, not everybody. Some people are like, oh, I need like 2 months in.
No, I bided my time, but it was a few years in and I was getting like decent opportunities that nothing ever happened with. And now it's like, I kind of get passed over for that because I think they're like, nah, we've already heard what she has to
Seen
say.
ya. Yeah.
Right,
That's that's what this town stinks of. It's like they're always looking for somebody new.
Right.
I
Like
want something
always something shiny and something
Yeah.
Well,
exciting.
and they want someone young, and it's like, well, the best comics, they come with time. It just doesn't, you can't
Yeah.
rush that shit.
Right.
So
Yeah.
at least that's what I'm telling myself. Oh, God.
Don't rush it. Don't
No,
rush it.
I think that's absolutely true. I think with like rappers and other like musicians, it's fun to see somebody vibrant and young singing, but they don't do the whole thing involved in creating that. But to be the full creative, I think it requires that seasoning.
Yeah.
Like, and I think with audiences, they don't really they just care how funny it is. They don't care how
Oh, yeah.
young the person is or, oh, that's interesting that he's, that they're whatever, a model or whatever. No,
Yeah.
fuck all that. Like, it's how funny are you? Like, how
Yeah,
does
it is like the
resonate?
great equalizer. That's why it's fun when I do some shows when like some like viral fucking star gets on and
Right,
they bomb
right,
and I'm like,
right.
yes. You might have way more money than me, but you
Right.
haven't sat at open mics every night of your
Right,
life.
you gotta bust your ass for this, man. It's absolutely honest. Like just that process being in front. So like, oh man, So with starting the podcast, like what point, how long have you been doing the podcast?
The Lady to Lady's been around about 6 years.
Yeah, so
almost 7.
Oh, dope. So, and you guys have over 1 million downloads, right?
We got over 3 million now.
That's
It's
amazing.
3.5 million or something.
crazy.
Yeah.
So when you guys started, did you have a platform already, or what's the process of building?
So we all met. So it's me, Brandy Posey, and Tess Barker.
Yeah.
And we all met doing stand up. And then we were like, oh, let's do a live show at our friend's, theater. And then the live show was going well, but we were like, oh, we should try to get more audience out. Let's start a podcast. It was before, there were tons of them. And then the podcast just took its own, kind of life.
Right.
And it was like, oh, we could be doing the show for 30 people or thousands of people doing the podcast. So, the process was just kind of, I would definitely say, finding a producer was huge. We've always had a producer, and that's been amazing because we just get to show up and be funny, and we don't have to worry about the technical shit, and that's like by far been the biggest help for us.
Absolutely.
We had somebody who knew our voice, so all that stuff I would say is like really important if you can figure that out if you wanted to start something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did it on our own for a year, and then we approached a network, Maximum Fun, and we went, and then we got on their network. So we already had like a back catalog of stuff to present to them. We actually just left that network, and I think if you're doing monetarily, if you're ever trying to make money off a podcast, it probably makes sense to be independent. But yeah, we started Patreon and all that stuff, and it's been going pretty well because we get ads and stuff. So
yeah, so it was a lot easier in that it wasn't as saturated when you started. Like
I think
6 years ago.
I think we kind of. We luckily stepped in like right before it got super crazy.
Yeah.
And also where, there's still not a ton of female dominated podcasts. So we're definitely still a little unique in that area. So it kind of sets us apart. But also people don't listen to it because it's called Lady to Lady. So please listen to it. So people just get turned off by the name. We could never figure out a different, I love it.
3 million downloads.
I know, but I think guys, it's just been it's been interesting.
It's like a lady podcast.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, it's only for, and it's, I don't know. It's like, well, if you want to be a fly on the wall of some women talking, I think it's pretty interesting.
It's like me and my wife watched The Good Wife, and I was telling my dude friends, I was like, man, I love watching The Good Wife. And they're like, that's a girl show. Like, because it said The
says
Good
wife in it.
I know. I'm like, no, there's so much more. God, I love that show.
I feel like I can't say this as a man, but I mean, are we moving away from that? Like a little bit?
I think so,
as
yeah.
a society?
Little by
there's a
little.
lot
I hope
of
so.
female dominated, was it The Handmaid's Tale?
Yeah.
And
I mean, have you watched that show?
no, is it not? Oh.
Females are being dominated.
Yeah, it's female dominated,
Yeah.
but it's literally about them like being forced to bear the children.
Yikes.
It's not it's empowering in its way, but it's about like
There's moments
Orange
of
is the
impact.
new black.
yeah,
That's
there
the
we go.
one. That one.
That's why I should have lived
Edit
with that.
that
My
out.
bad.
No, that's just funny. But no, of course, it's getting evened out. But I think we, like I said, since we were there a little bit earlier, we lucked out. But I have another podcast called Britney's Gram, and that's where me and my friend, we literally break down Britney Spears' Instagram posts every week.
Oh.
Because she has a crazy fucking Instagram, and that I really like because it's very niche, and that I think if anybody was starting a podcast now, it's a good idea to like pick something super specific that's a little weird that kind of catches people's interest, because that's like also that she already has an audience, so we're like getting to
into
her
that,
audience basically. So that's been really fun.
And kind of on the same vein, Matt, you do a late night show on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I haven't done it here, but when I was in Toronto, I hosted a late night talk show on the subway.
Oh, right. Oh shit, because we don't have a subway here.
Yeah, well, you do.
Gotta get on that.
We
Oh,
did.
it's
We
real
did. No one
sketchy.
uses it.
No one
Yeah.
uses it. And
You didn't know we had
I don't know. What's it called? The Metro link?
the Metro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, it goes under sometimes, or I guess
Yeah.
It's under, over,
it's under
all
the-
over the place.
Oh, okay,
It
okay.
goes through one of the O's in the Hollywood sign. It's nuts, man. But yeah, in Toronto, it's like everyone takes the subway. And
Right.
I thought it'd be funny to host a late night talk show. So I
Yeah.
treated it like a late night show. I wore a suit. I'd have celebrity guests come on. Like I had Scott Thompson from Kids in the Hall in one of the episodes.
Oh, hell
and,
yeah.
like, I had a stand up show because in Canada there's no late night shows. So you can't get a
What?
late night credit.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, I'll have 10 comics tell one joke on my late night show. And then I made a stamp and I was like, you put that on posters. You have a late night credit now.
Right.
That's
right,
amazing.
Right. That's
No, I don't think any
hilarious.
comic used it, but they have it because they did a joke on my late night show.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, I did that for a few years. I've been thinking about getting it going here. But
Yeah.
So I like tried riding the subway here, and I'm like, man, there's
there'd be some fights.
you could
It's
get
too dangerous.
like, in Toronto. Like I had people yell at me and threaten to punch me and stuff like that. But,
Yeah.
I had a guy pee behind me, which was an exciting episode.
Yeah.
But I didn't break the interview, and then the whole it
That's
just
so
reeked of
funny.
piss the whole time.
Oh, God.
But it was also like I was in Canada. That's where I'm from, and I felt safer than I do here.
Oh, okay.
Like I still don't even really know what
yeah.
my health care is here. If I
Right.
get beat the shit out of on the subway,
Oh, yeah,
right.
you got to be careful.
yeah.
Oh,
I've like
shit,
pitched it
yeah.
to like little networks here and there, and they really love the idea. But they're like,
Yeah.
what if you die? I'm like, I don't know. We could
Whoops.
try it, maybe. And also trying to get
Yeah.
guests in LA to meet me on the subway, I think would be impossible.
What? Oh, okay.
Because in
Yeah,
Toronto,
it's a lot more inconvenient to
Oh,
get
yeah.
to, so it's going to be harder to get people.
like
to
in
get-
Toronto, people are riding it anyway. Be like, meet me
Right.
at Bathurst Station. They're like, yeah, I live around the corner, but it's like, meet me at Hollywood and Highland.
right.
Yeah.
Try to find a parking spot,
Right.
then pay to get on the subway, and I'll be
Yeah.
underground.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go very long. How far does it go?
Dude, you can take it downtown.
You can take it to the beach now, pretty much.
pretty
shit.
much.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you gotta ride the rails, man.
Yeah,
it's
all
If you go far east, it's like elevated on the freeways too.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
it's kind of weird.
Oh,
You'll see
okay.
a train stop in between like 4
In,
lanes
like,
of
Highland
freeway
Park.
going. Yeah, it's,
yeah, like
Yeah.
almost to the desert. Yeah, it's like, and also you got like
Jeez.
full bars in there too. I don't know what they got going with the cell phone towers, but you
Oh,
got
I thought you meant like a bar you could
like a
drink at. I was
bar.
like, hell yeah.
open bar, flapper style dancers.
Right.
It's crazy under there. Everyone's hosting a late night show. That's why I don't do it here because everyone's
Right.
doing it.
Yeah.
It's
But I know you guys do like a lot of the independent stuff around town, like just different shows. Like I know we were talking about the Don't Tell shows and stuff like that. But do you guys do any of the clubs or subscribe to any of them? Beef with any of them? What's the? I know we've been
I did
mentioning
work at the
flappers
Laugh
kinda
Factory
stuff.
once for a week and I got fired.
Oh,
really?
So fuck.
wait,
'em,
like
right?
worked.
I worked like on their website. I was like, got hired
okay.
to work on their website. And then some crazy guy who worked there had worked there for 2 weeks before me convinced Jamie Masada that I wasn't good at my job.
Oh
And
my god.
I told him to go fuck himself and I left.
Shit.
Not Jamie, but I don't really have anything against it. I just think it's funny.
Yeah, but you still work the club and do all that.
I've only worked that club like a little bit. Getting into Laugh Factory is weird. I don't really
seems
understand.
impossible.
how it
Yeah.
works.
And like I've tried to hang out there, and then it's impossible.
It's
to
not
hang
a
It's
hangout
not a hangout spot, yeah.
Nah, there's not even an area. I guess upstairs after you get past the fucking
Right.
door guy
Yeah.
who's like
After
just being
7
a
people go, excuse me, sir.
dickhead. Right.
Who are you? I'm like, oh, I'm just
Yeah,
trying to-
very not welcoming, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so weird. I've always been like, I was always kind of anti-club when I started. I was very like, alternative, fuck you guys and your drink minimums or whatever. And now I'm like, oh, money. I was
Yeah,
like stupid about it. And so I don't really
Yeah.
know how the clubs work. And like when I do the shows at the Improv Lab, like a decent amount, and the Comedy Store is always very nice to me, like, because they always are like, we need funny women, come more. And I just like don't go because it gives me the heebie-jeebies walking up to that place.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, really?
I
Just
see
the
that.
area or the actual?
Just that place. I don't know what it is. And I don't want it to be, I don't want to feel like that, but I just can't like help it.
Yeah, I get it because I hang out there a lot, but I imagine if I wasn't, because it's like a boys' club.
It
You know,
is,
if
yeah.
you're
Yeah,
around
my
the
wife
boys.
said that. My wife's a comic. She says the
Yeah.
same thing. She's like, I wouldn't be here if you weren't with me. 'Cause it's all
Right.
these little dirty boys running around.
Right.
Yeah, and I've never had that feeling. Like I know
Yeah.
I don't get like that kind of stuff doesn't really, but that place specifically just kind of makes my stomach like turn.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
door guy at the Improv, and some promoter we have says it best. He says, "You bring your wife to the Improv, but you bring your whore to the store." He said that, and I was like, "Yes." That's
Yeah, man. Some corners in that place. I remember I filmed like a sketch in the daytime at the store, and the fucking carpets. Oh, you
don't
do
turn the
not
lights
want to
on
see
there.
those with the lights
Yeah.
on. Trust
Oh
me.
my god!
But
Yeah.
I enjoy it because it reminds me of a lot of there's the Yuck Yucks chains in in
Right.
Canada, which
Yeah.
are gross, disgusting. Like the one in Toronto was this dingy little basement, and like same thing. I saw with the lights on once. I saw the manager kill a rat mid-show.
Oh,
Like
God.
it was a sold out show, and this rat ran across the floor near the bar, and he stomped on it, grabbed it by the tail, and then chucked it in the back alley. And then I went up
Jesus.
after that. No one noticed for some reason. There's also one.
did you not say anything? I guess you couldn't.
I was laughing so hard. And then there's always, this is what I love about this club. And I'm not, if anybody from Yucca is listening, no one's listening. There's one time a year where all the rats in the vents die and the stage is covered in flies. This happens every summer.
Whoa.
It's so funny. Just because you'll be up there just swatting flies. And the
Does
manager,
it reek of death?
smell?
Also?
it smells.
Yeah.
It smells, and then but the audience, there's still audience there, and they're just like, "Why are there flies everywhere?" And it's funny because
Really understanding Canadian, but like, yeah, it's summertime.
yeah, it's flies. But it's. I asked the manager, I was like, "Why are there flies once a year?" And he's like, "Well, the rats start to die in the vents, and then they."
Yeah.
I'm like, so that's what reminds me of the store.
Is that
That's why I'm kind of like, oh, this reminds me of my home club.
right? Yeah.
Dirty little club. I used to
Yeah.
go to when I first moved here. I used to go to the potluck.
Oh yeah,
On
Mondays.
Mondays, just
Yeah.
because like
yeah.
I didn't know anything about, and I still go every now and then, just to whatever. I stopped going for a bit because I showed that the Adam Egget guy was there,
Yeah, yeah.
and I showcased, and I had like a good set considering what happens at that show. It's 3
Oh,
minute sets,
it's, yeah.
and there was actually a crowd, and I
yeah.
actually got laughs, and then I emailed him after just to be like, well, what thanks for having me. I'd love to be there more,
Right.
and then he emailed me back immediately. And he goes, yeah, I saw your set. You're very funny. He's like, but we already have Michael Costa and TJ Miller on the roster, so we have no use for you.
Whoa.
said use.
Those are the two
Yikes.
he compared me to.
But
So he's-
even what are they Canadian? What's the?
I don't know. I think the energy or something. But the funny thing is when TJ Miller got arrested for a bomb threat on a train.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
So there was.
Did
I
you
saw.
email him then? You're like,
I
hey.
saw that news story. I took a screenshot because I hadn't responded to it. I was like, okay,
Right.
I'm fucking done, I guess. And I sent a screenshot and I go, hey, I just saw this. Looks like there's an opening. I was like, I'd love to be back. And I haven't heard anything back. I know.
That's super funny.
Well, yeah,
man.
he's still getting booked, so I guess you're.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I guess it didn't work.
Oh man, I'm the one who framed him. Actually, I was trying to set you up, man.
But
Nah,
I still hang out there just for
Yeah.
If a friend is there, I'll hang out.
Potluck's a good way to see how crazy comedy's gotten because Luke Schwartz, who helps run it,
That's my
posts
boy, yeah.
posts about it and is like, there were 350 people that signed up this
Crazy.
week, like an insane
Yeah.
amount of people trying
Yeah.
to get on that show.
and the show, it's so weird because I've seen some really good comics eat shit on
Yep.
that show
Yeah.
because it's the type of show, like you're saying, you have to adjust very quickly, no matter what. So, and then you have to call that audible right before your set. Like, do I address
Yes.
something that's been going on, like a running theme, talk about the host, or do I just do my set? And I've seen both work. Like,
Yeah.
you never know what's the right answer.
Because it's 3 minutes. And
It's 3 minutes.
up
but-
until now in my comedy career, I've never heard of a 3 minute set.
right.
It's always been at least 5.
right,
Which
right,
5
right.
you can do something with, but
I think
3 is like
you get one at the NBC. Well, they used to call it diversity, and now it's just the NBC.
1
I
minute?
think
You
it's
get one.
and then a 2-minute callback.
2 minutes on the call.
So
back.
fucking insane.
shit.
Yeah. And I get it though, because even 3 minutes on television is a long.
I guess so.
Fucking time, especially if you watch somebody not doing well. Like
Yeah.
I'll watch the guy. I don't want to start no beef. Actually, it'd be good if we start beef. It's not beef because he's a great comic, legendary comic, Gabriel Iglesias.
Yeah.
But you could tell he wasn't preparing for a 3 minute set. He did when he first got Tonight Show, then Fallon, when Fallon first got it, did a set, and I'm like, I think they gave him like 7 minutes, which is very long for that. But even then, he's doing things that you would do on a long show, like
Right.
clap it up for this, or the way you get into a longer set. And it's like, holy shit, dog, you haven't.
You're like, you gotta stop thanking the waiters and like.
Right. It's like 2
comedy.
minutes in, yeah, and like no,
I would
like.
love to see somebody thank the waiters at a late night night set.
Give it up for
Give it up for your
server.
staff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
anyone celebrating anything? All that stuff.
Give it up for Carol. She's due in 2 weeks.
All this shit.
That would be funny if a whole set was just that.
That'd be very funny.
Oh, I've seen some stuff. There was a BET Comic View set where he just kept give it up for the Pisces, give it up, and like everybody's like, yeah. And at one point, I don't know if it was just they didn't recognize it or if it was actually what he was doing, but it was like the whole. You're like, he's done. All he did was give it up for everybody.
That's so funny.
I was like, that's so funny, dude.
I wish I was ballsy enough to take a risk.
That could be like some Rory Scovel.
I was just gonna say,
yeah.
Like, keep going. For
Yeah.
Right.
everything.
Whatever Rory and John Doerr do on Conan, I'm so jealous of. Like,
I know.
it's so insane.
I haven't seen Rory on it. What did he doesn't
He
do jokes
does
on there?
Him and John Doerr did this one thing where Conan's like, I'm sorry, I booked 2 comics by accident. Rory Scovel and John Doerr is like, they're just gonna do their set at the same time, if that's cool. And they both went up and did a stand-up set side by side, yelling over each other. John's playing a guitar. He smashes a guitar at one point. It was so goddamn
Are they
funny.
like acknowledging each other?
Not at all.
Not at all.
No.
That's so
it's
fun.
so good. And then another one, John Doerr did this thing where like he had like rain effects and like there was a dick drawn on his chest. Like it was just so.
That's the kind of stuff I want to do more of because I have like
I'd
a
love
few
to.
elements of weird shit in a set like that I'm like,
Yeah.
I'd love to lean into just
I
that
know.
stuff.
Man.
And like I know John, and I've always wanted to ask, be like, how do you pitch that to Conan? Like there was his latest one. He was dressed up as a centaur. And he said he just got back from Hercules the musical, and his centaur ends up pissing all over the stage.
Oh my god.
His horse legs like piss all over the stage. I'm like, it's so fucking funny.
Oh my god!
But the YouTube comments are the best because people are like, "What the fuck is this? This guy
taking
sucks."
themselves all
Oh
seriously.
god, the comments.
Because the general public is so stupid.
Right.
You hear that, general public?
Yeah.
But I think we get spoiled too because we see so much comedy. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, something different.
Something
But
fun.
People who don't see this much comedy are like, that's not funny. And you're
Yeah.
like, actually, it's pretty brilliant if you've been to any open mic in Los
you've
Angeles.
seen a whole
Seriously,
lot.
like
Yeah.
thank God seeing something different. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when it's weird because when it's done right, I don't know. Like certain people can do it, like
Yeah.
you know the Kaufman. Those people they can do it, and then other people I'm like I don't think there's still a formula to it. Like I didn't like that type of stuff until I read Steve Martin's book.
Oh, yeah.
and I was like. He had a formula. Like whether or not I liked individual bits or jokes, I was like, oh, okay. His whole idea was, it's about building tension, and if
Yeah.
this tension has nowhere to go, it'll have to go. So like the punchline releases tension. So he's like, if I don't give him a punchline, it has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And he did it for a while where it was bad. Like people throw things at him.
Oh, yeah.
And eventually he just got it. Like it clicked.
Takes a
and then
lot
the
of
audience was
work.
enjoying it. It took a lot of work and bravery because a lot of
It's
people
like,
will tell you
think
suck.
you think it's a lot of work to be a stand-up, but to be like a
Right.
weirdo,
Right.
avant-garde stand-up.
But there's still a performance aspect to it. Like I know this dude's performing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I watch John and Rory, I'm like, they're performing as opposed to a guy that's just not doing anything or
Yeah.
somebody that's just up there taking up space and time.
taking up space.
You're like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's not a big difference, but I'm just like, I don't think you want to be here. Are you? Is that the
Yeah.
thing? You just don't want to perform for me
I know.
or whatever? Yeah. But yeah, man, I don't know. Like, I don't know. We're coming close to the end. I know because we started a little late.
We can.
Wasn't my fault.
We can keep going if you gentlemen want to. It's up to you guys.
I'll do
Well,
whatever.
I know
Dude.
definitely Barbara's got an audition coming. Like she's about
No
to
big
get
deal.
to.
I gotta go be.
No. You're more important than us. You know what I'm saying? No, nobody else here is doing shit.
I gotta go bomb my 30th commercial audition. I never do well in them. I'm so bad. The energy of being on stage is just so different than being in
In a
these
room
fucking
with these
rooms.
people.
Yeah,
yeah.
I wish I could transfer that, and I never can. It's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
frustrating.
yeah.
The drive home after a bomb audition too is like, how hard is your jaw clenched? Like, just like, oh fuck.
Oh, we put this all in your head right before.
It's okay. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
trying to confront. It's like people are like, "Well, just go in there like you're doing stand up," and I'm like, "It's not possible.
not
I'm not
the
going in there.
same.
I'm not going
Right.
in there and saying things that I wrote. I'm going in there and saying some garbage about a
Yeah.
brand that whatever."
Right.
Start some crowd work like, her hair is terrible.
Yeah.
That's what I'll go in and be like, "All right, who's got a birthday here? Should I just do that at the audition?"
Oh yeah, they love you. Like they're like nobody's done that yet.
Yeah, I'll take off. I'll just say bye. So you guys can keep going.
Well, how can people stay in touch with you? Of course, the Lady to Lady podcast is on everything, right? Apple
Yeah.
Podcasts.
You can can find that on everywhere. LadyToLadyComedy.com.
And
It's got all of her stuff there. And Brittany's Gram is Brittany'sGram.com, or you can just find it on iTunes.
Gotcha.
And
Can I ask, is it very, like, are you embracive of her poor decisions, or do you, like, roast her her craziness?
Oh, we love her. It's not necessarily poor decisions. It's more like she's just weird. She's like a mom. She's like one of the most famous people in the world that posts weird, like, mom memes and then fashion shows and shit with her like boyfriend who's 10 years younger than her, where they work out together and he bench presses her. It's really it's like very just fascinating. So we love her. We definitely roast her, but we love her.
Yeah, I want to check it out now.
I have a lot of friends who are diehard Britney fans. I'm gonna let them know.
Tell them about it. Yeah, it's a fun. If you look at her Instagram, you'll get it, because she's just like kind of. You're like, what the hell is going on here? So it's just
How many followers does she have?
I think she's got 20 million.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Murphy.
20 million people saw her roast beef.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
When you said mom stuff, that's what I picture. Like, made a pot roast for the kids.
Right.
Yeah, it's like bad selfies with the kids, and you're just like, why are you posting this? I don't get it. But yeah, anyway, that's there, and
what's your Instagram? Is it at Barbara Gray?
my Instagram is Babs Gray.
At Babs Gray.
And my website is pause for a photo.
Right.
MyJokesAreUpHere.com, so you can find out all my shows and all that stuff
sick.
there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
So
Just while we're on the vein of that, Matt, I mean, and people, they can go visit the show still. It's still up on YouTube.
The talk show?
The late night show.
Yep.
I want to go check it out just because.
Yeah, it's on my YouTube channel.
Piece behind you. Oh, on your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is it Matt O'Brien?
It's just Matt. I don't know how I snagged that username, but it's youtube.com/Matt O'Brien.
That's fucking dope.
And I try to post different sketches.
Same as
weekly
Instagram
and shit
and-
like that. Instagram, Matt O'Brien. I don't know how I snagged that. Yeah.
you got it
Twitter?
early.
Twitter's Matt _.
Oh.
And the guy Matt O'Brien is some lawyer in the UK, and I offered him $100 once. I was like, can I have your username? And he said no.
Ah, shit.
So when
I'm
he
trying
dies,
to be famous, guys.
yeah, I'm like, you're not doing anything, you lawyer.
Fucking lawyer.
Why does a lawyer need an Instagram?
Exactly.
Yeah, dude. Oh, man.
Loser.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, man. So you guys have any shows coming up this week? Oh, no. This is going to come out Monday of next week,
Yeah,
which is the
yeah.
23rd or some
Coming
shit.
up, yeah.
I've got I have a show every Friday at Desano Pizza in
hell.
Oh, it's
Hollywood.
one of the best shows in town.
Yeah, it's a real
Oh,
fun
hell.
show.
So fun.
8:00 Desano Pizza every Friday. It's like the back room of this. The pizza's fucking amazing. It's the best pizza in LA also,
Oh,
but
hell yeah.
back room of this little pizza shop.
Sick.
So that's
Love
every
it.
week.
Love that show. Love
Hell
the pizza,
yeah.
love the people. Very nice. Very
Hell
good.
yeah. You got anything coming up, Matt? Or?
I'm doing a cross Canada tour coming up.
Oh, hell yeah.
So starting in August, I'll be in Niagara Falls, Toronto, Ottawa.
yeah.
and
The Yuck
Calgary.
Yucks, or is it?
Yeah, I'm doing a bunch of yucks
Oh,
and then a
sick.
bunch of little clubs.
Ooh, I hope you hit it during rat time.
Oh God, I hope I get the rat time. I love rat time. And then I'm recording.
Yeah.
I'm going all the way to Vancouver, where I'm recording a new album there.
Oh, cool.
hell yeah.
And yeah,
Hell
so,
yeah.
MattO'BrienComedy.com are those dates.
Yeah. And
That's me.
That's dope. And of course, the show is at Comedy Pop Up.
Comedy pop-up, yeah. And then if you guys are, if this comes out on the 23rd promptly, Tuesday, July 24th, we're doing a comedy pop-up show at Malo in Silver Lake.
Oh, we love Malo.
Jack Knight, Michael Longfellow,
yeah.
Faraz Ozel, Jen Murphy, Nick Youssef, and I think I'm hosting. So
That's a good show. Damn.
it's going to be a
Mama.
really fun show,
That's a
guys.
dope
And that's
show.
July 24th, 8 p.m. at Malo in Silver
Hell
Lake.
yeah. All right.
And we were just talking about 15-minute Netflix specials. Jack Knight, one of the gentlemen on the show, just had one. It was amazing.
That's
So
right.
Yeah.
come on out, watch, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, guys, and I've been your host. Usually, is Ron ever coming back?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I think I've done more than Ron now.
He's blown up. He's too big for us.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So fuck that. I mean, I guess I'm the host now.
Is he like the
Unless you wanna
mayoress
fight me.
of this
Erase
podcast?
Ron
We never
from
see
your
him.
history.
Yeah, man. But I'm at Sean Grant Pictures on Instagram, and at Sean Grant Words on Twitter. And thank you guys for listening. Tune in next week.
Nice. I'm gonna plug something real quick too,
Oh, of
guys.
course.
Also, I work on a local show at a Hooters that just moved across the street to Cabo
yeah,
Wabo.
that's right.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
sick.
We had our first show last night. We'll be back to showcasing here soon. It's at Cabo Wabo at the Hollywood Highland Mall, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. And then thanks to, if anyone's listening, which no one's listening, thanks to everyone who came out last night. The venue was like really impressed with the turnout, and it was
great.
mostly bucket spots and like local comics. So
Yeah.
thanks for the support, guys. And,
Hell yeah.
Why did you switch from Hooters?
They got new management, and he thinks that we made him roughly on average about $50,000 a year. We've been keeping track, and he thinks he can do better than that on his second floor with pinball machines and a pool table, charging cover. So
Whoops.
Great.
They're charging a cover for the pinball level? All right.
Very
Fuck us.
Yeah,
Very
that's
dumb.
his. So hey man, if you could do it.
Well, Hooters
good
wings
for
suck,
it.
so
Yeah.
go to Cabo
Fuck
Wabo.
It's cool. It's
Hooters,
cool to be
yeah.
at a restaurant that's got good food and
Yeah.
an A from the health department. So
Yeah. Thank God.
big things.
No
man.
rats in the vents.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Count me out.
Bringing rats.
Look, guys, thank you so much for listening. Tune in next time. We love you. Peace.
All right, see you guys.